Get ready to be jolted out of the ordinary and into a world where conversations are charged with intensity and facts. The Lightning Strike Talk Radio with your host, Mohammed Faheem, broadcasting live from the heart of the city on Chicago's Progressive Talk Radio, WCPT 820 AM. Welcome to a radio show that charges through the airwaves with an electricity like no other. Here's your host, Mohammed Faheem.
Good morning, Chicago. Good morning to the world. Good morning, listeners. And this is Mohammed Faheem with the Lightning Strike. Joining me today on the show, Mike Patino, Chris Hilbert, Dr. Sheila White. We will have our person of the week joining us in the second hour. And of course, in the second hour, Congresswoman Marie Newman and Maria Muzaffar, legislative attorney, will be joining us. And we're going to have a lot of fun. And in our segment of our District Watch segment this week, we have got Morgan Coghill joining us, and we will introduce all our guests and all our participants today. But heck, wanted to start off with Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Dr. White, you got some bad jokes, dad jokes? What do you have for us?
You know, happy Father's Day, Chicago and the world. You know, a lot of kids have dad jokes, and dad jokes are something that dads just have to shake their head. So in honor of Father's Day, we've got some dad jokes, so we're going to have a little fun this morning. Okay. So you guys, I got some knock-knock jokes. So I'm going to say knock-knock. You guys, who's there?
Who's there?
Who's there? Okay, radio. Radio who, guys?
Radio
who? There you go.
Okay,
we're going to try it again. Knock, knock.
Who's there? Who's there?
Radio.
Radio who?
Radio not. Here I come. Okay. Got another one for you. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dishes.
Dishes who?
This is a great time to tell a joke.
Okay. Oh,
and one last one.
You said this. You said this is. I heard dishes.
Dishes like washing the dishes.
Dad, it's time to wash the dishes. Before you go wash the dishes.
One more. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Ice cream.
Ice cream who?
I scream so you can hear me. Great dad jokes this morning, getting us started on the Lightning Strike this morning. Happy Father's Day to you all.
Happy Father's Day to all our listeners and viewers and everybody. But folks, what I wanted to start off today, my rant of the week. I always have a rant to start the show, right? So my rant is, do we really need a presidential library for every president? Good morning.
No.
Okay. This is Mohammed Faheem and this is the Lightning Strike. So I have a question. Why does every president need a monument to themselves? No, really, why? Why does every former president seem to get a massive library, museum, conference center, archive, event venue, gift shop, and a shrine dedicated to their legacy? And why are we told that this is somehow necessary for democracy? America has a presidential library addiction, folks. 16 presidential libraries all spread all over the country, okay? Every 4 or 8 years, another monument rises from the ground. Another ribbon cutting, another fundraising campaign, another building with the former president's name carved in stone. You really don't want 45 and 47 or whatever the guy's number is to come up, right? Yeah, it's going to happen. But and the price tags keep getting bigger. Tens of millions, hundreds of millions. In some cases, approaching $1 billion.
Wow.
Not for schools, not
crazy.
For affordable housing, not for health care, not for libraries that actual communities use every day, for monuments to politicians. Think about that. 40 million Americans depend on food assistance, folks. Millions cannot afford rent. Millions more are drowning in medical and student debt, right? Public schools are laying off teachers. Local libraries are reducing services and timings. But somehow, there is always money available to build another presidential monument. The official argument is that These libraries preserve history. Fine, preserve history. Nobody is arguing against preserving presidential records. But here is a radical idea. We already have a place for preserving history. It's called the Library of Congress, remember? It's called the National Archives. It's called digital technology. Why not create a presidential history wing inside the Library of Congress? One building, one archive, one place where every president's records are preserved equally. Washington, Lincoln, Roosevelt, Kennedy, Obama, Trump, maybe, okay, if the Epstein files are released by then. Yeah. Okay. Biden still does not have any library, okay, to his name. Remember that. All under one roof, okay. Just put them in in the library in Washington, right? No ego palaces, folks. No personality cults. No expensive monuments scattered across the country. Just history. Just facts. Just public records. You know what's interesting? Most democracies don't do this. Britain doesn't build giant public libraries or giant libraries for every prime minister. Germany doesn't build monuments for every chancellor. Canada, our 51st would-be state, doesn't create museums for every former leader. Australia doesn't construct massive legacy centers every time a prime minister leaves office. Most mature democracies preserve their records through national institutions. Even in India, you don't have a library dedicated to every president or prime minister. I don't know what's going to happen after Modi leaves office, okay, so because there's a personality cult going around there. America preserves them through personal monuments, and maybe that's the problem. Because these aren't really libraries, let's be honest, they are branding operations, public relations centers, image management factories. Each one carefully creates a story. The accomplishments are highlighted, the controversies are softened. The failures become footnotes. History becomes marketing. And taxpayers eventually inherit the bill. Imagine what even a fraction of this money could accomplish, folks. How many affordable housing units could be built? How many teachers could be hired? The Obama library that opened on Juneteenth of all days, right? How many African American households could have been educated with that for $800 million, or $850 million, folks? The original estimate was $350. Yeah, it got bumped up, $850. How many affordable housing units could have been built? How many teachers could be hired? How many veterans could receive mental health care? How many scholarships could be funded? How many local libraries could stay open? How many children, hungry children, could be fed? We are constantly told that America can't afford universal health care. There's no money for that. Americans can't afford free college. America can't afford affordable housing. America can't afford expanded child care. America can't afford stronger public transportation. Yet somehow, America can always afford another monument to another politician. The priorities don't make sense to me, folks. At some point, we have to ask whether we are preserving history or feeding egos. A democracy should celebrate its people, not endlessly memorialize its politicians. The greatest tribute to a president shouldn't be a billion-dollar building. It should be a country that works. A country where children are educated, where families can afford homes, where veterans receive care, where bridges don't collapse, where libraries stay open, where opportunities exist for everyone. If a president truly served the nation, that should be their monument, not a gift shop, not a conference center, not a building with their name on it. America has enough monuments, folks. What we need are better priorities because history belongs to the people, not to the brands politicians leave behind. I am Mohammed Faheem. This is the Lightning Strike for Sunday, the 21st of June. Comments, my good team, my great participants. What do you guys say, man? Come on.
Man, this is the lightning strike already. I could tell you this morning on Father's Day.
Okay.
It's interesting. America loves to show, America loves to celebrate, America loves to spend money. And I will say, in contrast to what you said about that, Elon Musk, I have to bring his name up because
Okay.
he's the first trillionaire and he's got his money trillions. He's a trillionaire now, they say, but his money came from getting donations and getting contracts from the government.
Yep.
So let's look at it.
Yep.
Our money helped him to become a trillionaire because of the contracts he got through the government. So it's not a party that he's doing. All of this money he's pocketing for himself. And with all of that, he's not doing a darn thing, okay, to all of those things that you address. So I have to kind of stand up for the small people out there that are saying,
I know, Sheila. I mean, I get your point, but my point is, no other country in the world does this, man. Have a library for every president.
that's true.
It is 19, almost 20 acres in Jackson Park, okay, for Obama's library. They say there's going to be a public library also there. Yeah, Chicago already has a big public library funded properly, okay?
It does. It does.
How many people really go to these libraries once the show is over?
Well, one thing about this library, I will say it's a little different
Yeah.
than a lot of the libraries because there's sports things, there's things for families.
Oh yeah, I see all of
Different
that.
type of attractions other than just reading and
Yeah.
and that type of thing. So it's something that is a community type of library. I mean, the lightning is striking, Chris. I don't know what's going on in Texas,
Okay.
but
No, but here's the thing, okay? Once the libraries are built by public
yeah,
donations, okay, but then the National Archives takes over the maintenance of these things.
Right.
that's
Okay,
true.
except in Obama's library, I mean, they have created a foundation that will take care of it. The archives will be handled by the National Archives. But the most of these libraries, the cost comes down of maintenance and running these places to you and I,
Yep. To the taxpayers.
to the taxpayers. So, folks, if you want to call in and join the conversation, the number to call in is 773-763-9278 or WCPT. You can also text us at that number. And after the show, if you want to send us a message, please visit our website, tlsradio.com. And you can send us a message from the website. tlsproducer@gmail.com is the link over there. You can call us after the show, leave a message, and the number to call in is, what is that, Mike?
Oh, Chris has it. Chris,
Chris,
put it. Say
Mike's
something
back
Chris,
from
so we can
Hawaii.
see it. She has it on her. She's got it printed out.
Yes, I
Well,
do.
There it is.
Pass the buck, Mike. Pass the buck, right?
no, this is a this is a pop quiz, okay?
Well, if I may say something, this is the lightning strike, and I cannot. I love your fireside rants. It's beautiful because
It is. It is.
the point is that these people are all these presidents are creating these monuments to themselves, self-aggrandizement, and it's just pathetic to me. I mean, and people just want to see it. I don't know. It preserves this celebrity worship that we have for our politicians in this country, and I think it's detrimental to, especially most of the little people out there. I know that in Chicago there was a big problem, which they're not going to report, just trying to get the land, take the land away from the people to begin with. So that didn't get covered in the news. And all you see is all these beautiful, wonderful celebrities waving like superstars.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. This when is this celebrity worship going to stop? Well,
And
how many
Mike,
more libraries do we have to have?
yeah, I'm also hearing that many of the contractors, especially some of the African American contractors, have not been paid for their work. Did you know that, Sheila?
No, I didn't know that. But I will say this, like since the lightning is striking, the people that were there, most of them, and even the celebrities that we mentioned, they talked about a sense of hope, because there was not that negativity that we hear from Washington about, Piggy and all this other conversation talking about media, fake media, and calling people out of their name and their gender and all of this type of talk. So most of the people there were in a celebratory mood because they were happy
Of
that there was
course.
something good happening, especially in
Of
Chicago.
course, not
Especially in
denying that,
Chicago.
Sheila, not
Yeah.
denying that. But the same thing could have been done with the Library of Congress. All of these celebrities could have gone over there. Okay, you don't need $850 million to be spent on a
Good point.
building.
Good point. Good point.
Okay,
Good point.
and 20 acres of prime land in Chicago. Uh, Again, folks, I'm not I'm not being a negative Nelly about this thing. But just think about it, okay? Now we got this megalomaniac in the White House. Once his term is over, you know what kind of library he's going to have designed under his name? The biggest, the most beautiful, the biggest whatever, the bestest library of all presidents hanging over Manhattan, okay? I mean, where does it end? That is
You
my
need to
question,
turn the
folks.
ballroom into a library.
What
Yeah,
ballroom?
that's what he should do.
What ballroom?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
whatever it is.
one of the judges has reached out and kind of scrunched that thing up so far. But okay, so everything Trump touches, folks, turns into a mess.
That's right.
And we, I wanted to really bring out real quick before Morgan joins us. Morgan, by the way, has already joined the conversation. He is, just staying quietly, the fly on the wall, uh, listening to us as to what the heck are these guys talking about. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're
Good
Morning,
good.
morning.
Morgan.
Morning.
We're good. So we'll get you back in a couple of minutes, Morgan. But I mean,
Certainly.
does it really make sense, Chris, to spend $850 million? And I'll guarantee you that they say, "Oh, the foundation is going to take care of it." Oh, no, 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 no.
No, that's an excessive amount of money. And I was really surprised when I found out, what was it, like last year or the year before, whenever it was, when they took all that land for it, and there was a big battle going on for the use of that land. And I just thought, well, you came across Obama, you said you were going to be for the people and help us and all this sort of stuff, and now you're stealing land for a stupid library? I mean, find a better place. That was my first thought.
Well,
And
there's another thing I want to just chime in here too. We have to remember something, that this is the first African American president, whether he was Indian, whether he was Spanish, whether he was Asian. The first, you always celebrate the first, your first birthday, your first love, your first. This is something that I think that is really important, no matter what it is, because in times past we have never had this type of presidency. And even if
right.
it was an Asian president, a Spanish president, or whatever, I think that's something to be celebrated.
Well, let us celebrate it. Let us celebrate it every Sunday. We'll have it. We'll have a 5 minute segment dedicated to Obama's greatness. Okay. Without costing $850 million, Sheila. Come on. Okay. Because Trump is going to come out and say later on, I'm the first ever madman to be the president of the United States. So
Right,
he
Yeah,
would
right.
want to
that's
be
true.
celebrated like every day. But jokes aside, folks, again, we have to have our priorities right. Okay, that is my entire thing. How do we make sure that the little guy is taken care of?
Right.
Okay,
That's true.
these celebrities came. Okay, they came because they knew that they are going to be, uh, you know, highlighted by the media and all of that. Everybody's getting publicity out of it. Oh, yeah. And then 10 years down the road, think about it, Sheila. Think 10 years down the road, we already had like these 16 or 15 libraries, right? The National Archives is taking care of maintaining them, of staffing them. That's a lot of money, folks. Millions of dollars. Let us assume that it's, 5 million per library per year, right? Just think about it. So as a country, the lightning strike is all about holding people accountable, okay?
Yeah.
Obama did some good things, fine, great. First African American president, first Asian African American president, whatever you want to call him, first president who was not born in the United States, according to Trump, okay? Okay. But again, my thing is that if he had started the foundation, and the foundation would have come up with some, say, scholarships for African American students to go to college, build affordable housing for people in the south side of Chicago, that would have been a more lasting legacy than having this big building that everybody wants to visit now. One time, you go there one time, you're not going to go back again and look at those monuments, right? You may go back and use some of the athletic facilities over there. But that is an issue that I have, folks. I mean, I really wanted to focus on positive things in the show. But yeah, we have some we have to sometimes we have to sit back and say, what the heck is happening in my country, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, I just want to say one thing, Mohammed. Every success story celebrated is a testament to what is possible. And when vision meets opportunity, when community supports one another, when individuals refuse to allow barriers to define its future, then we're on to something good. I'll just say it that way.
Absolutely. Talking about that, we have our first fundraising dinner coming in for the lightning strike.
That's
folks.
right.
As you see,
And it's not going to be billions of dollars either.
we don't take commercial advertising in here, okay? Corporate advertising to keep the show going. July 29th, please put that on your calendar. It is going to be at the Bolingbrook Civic Center in the evening, 6 to 6:30 to about 9:30. Al Bawadi Grill is providing us with some delicious dinner. And Sheila, we kind of leaned on Valerie again last week to bring some of her goodies in. What is the name of her business again? I forgot.
Everything delicious. We need smell-o-vision. Somebody has to invent that. Smell-o-vision.
Okay, everything delicious. So Valerie will be bringing her goods in to share with us, folks. Tickets are going to be available on our website. The link should be going up by the end of the day today. Or you can reach out to me, 630-345-0202. Text me for the tickets link. We are keeping it very, very affordable. It's only $75 for the tickets, okay? So if you get a cup of, a couple of Mickey D's, every week for the year, you're paying more than that. For this, you're paying less than that for the ticket for our fundraising dinner. Plus, you get to meet all our team over there. Dr. White would be there covering the entire event with her team.
Yes.
She'll be doing the audio and the video and all of those things. Mike will be doing the Hawaii hula dance that he learned in Hawaii. and
Chris is flying
Chris is actually flying down from useless Texas for this event. So you get to meet all of us, okay? And you get to take pictures with Mike also.
And I'll wear this shirt.
Mike, I'm thinking of having a dunk tank in there. You want to volunteer for that?
Cool.
Me? Thank
You
you.
wear your Hawaiian shirt, Mike. That'll be cool.
Yeah, got his Hawaiian t-shirt on. So, okay. Coming up on 8:29, folks, we are going to be getting into our segment of the District Watch segment. This is going to be on the second and the first and the third week of the month, right? And Chris, you want to talk about District Watch, what it is for our listeners?
Sure. District Watch is a segment held on the first and third Sundays where we bring in community activists and leaders and former candidates that are still active in their district, find out what's going on, what are the people thinking, what are they working on to make the community better, bring awareness to a topic or an event that's going on. And it's just a way of getting involvement and staying involved in the community.
Okay, on that note, folks, if you want to be featured as our District Watch correspondent, please reach out to C. Hilbert, Hilbert, at tlsradio.com. Send an email, and we will start adding you to the roster over here. Every month, we want to feature these people who have been there, done that, knocked on doors. And on that note, Morgan, good morning.
Good morning. How
Good
are
morning,
you?
Morgan. Welcome.
Good
Thank
morning,
you.
Morgan.
Okay,
Well,
Father's Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
you heard our knock-knock jokes in the morning, Morgan? We started the show with knock-knock jokes on Father's
Yeah.
Day.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't, I missed that
Okay.
one. So,
Well, you can go back and listen to the show on our YouTube channel, which is at TLS Radio. We'll be posting it on our Facebook channel also at TLS Radio again. But I'll let Mike take the lead from here on. And welcome, Morgan. Go ahead, Mike.
Good morning, Morgan. Thanks for coming on. I really have to say that I'm very proud of Morgan. He took the bull by the horns, ran against Brad Snyder, who is, a proud Zionist, as we know, and very formidable candidate, no doubt about it. He's been there for a while, and he did a great job with his campaign. I was helping him a little bit on the side, and and he snapped back from it. And that's hard to do. It's hard to do. I've run for office. I'm a former officer of the Transport Workers Union, and I've lost a couple elections myself. But we'll get into that later. But I want to welcome you, and I just had to say that I'm very, very proud of your efforts. You continue
thank you.
to be an activist, and you continue to be organizing and heading up coalitions. And I'd like you to start out talking a little bit about the Northern Illinois Progressives and what you guys are doing.
So the Northern Illinois Progressives is a group that was born out of our campaign. It is me and the woman who is my communications director, Augusta Goufoy. We started this because we wanted to have a group and a place for progressives to meet and gather and basically push, especially the Lake County Dems, further to the left and show them that we're not going away. So we've had our first couple of meetings. We're bringing visibility to issues that are important, especially to Lake County and to the 10th District overall. And those include things like data centers. We have a huge one going up in Grayslake. That includes things like affordable childcare, affordable universal pre-K and 3K. We want to focus on things that we can have an immediate change on in our district. The failure of the passage of the Rifle Act due to one of our state reps from Highland Park, which is staggering. So our job, as we see it, is to drag especially the Lake County Democrats kicking and screaming into the 21st century and show them just how blue, deep blue this district really is. And we've had our first couple of meetings, and they were better attended than most of my fundraisers, which was both good and a bit humbling.
Okay.
But we're also going to have a picnic cookout with speakers on July 11th at Independence Grove in Libertyville from 12 to 3. So like I said, our job is grassroots activism, focusing on battles that are big enough to matter and small enough to win on the local level.
Morgan, on running for office, I was in Springfield a few years back. The Dems have this chairs, Democratic chairs, county chairs meeting in Springfield, and then there's a training for about 3 days on how to run for office and all of that. And I was talking with Dick Durbin over there, and I had run for office in 2019. Okay, and Raja Krishnamurthy freaked out and challenged my petitions. Has never challenged anyone's petitions in his life. So I withdrew because I didn't have the money that he had. He had $14 million in his thing. So Dick pulled me aside and said, "Hey, run again." And he said, he called Mike Frericks over, the state treasurer. He said, "Mike, come over here. How many times did you lose before you won your first election?" And Mike goes, 4 times. And
Ouch.
then Dick said, "I know another guy whose name is Barack Obama. He lost his first 3 races before he won his first race." Okay. And now he's got a monument to him in Chicago. But here's the thing, Morgan. Please don't give up. Okay. It is a very tough fight. Thank you for, this is a service to the country and to the whole world. Because Brad Schneider, like Mike started off by saying, is a proud Zionist. Okay.
He's worse than that, actually.
But most people don't know that, right? Whenever there's an election, folks, we have these guys coming in from around the country, these political consultants. They put their finger in the air and say, these are the issues that are important to the people. And the party leadership falls over backward listening to them because they want to keep the status quo going, right? And then
Exactly.
people like Morgan Coghill, knocking on doors, walking the streets, talking to people. So Morgan, what are the issues that you feel that Brad Schneider should be held accountable for when he takes office next time also?
I think the biggest one, especially right now, well, I don't know how long you got. The fact that Brad Schneider,
Hours.
Brad Schneider is part of the Epstein class. He takes money from Jeffrey Epstein's pen pals. He takes money from insurance companies and weapons manufacturers. This guy takes filthy money. He outspent me 12-1 in the election through filthy money. Like,
Okay, and
he
by
is
the
not.
way, when you say this is facts that can
These are
be
facts.
these
These are
this
facts.
can be accessed by anyone by going to the FEC sites.
Correct.
Right.
It'll tell you who is funding these campaigns. So go ahead, Margaret.
Yes. People who are pen pals of Jeffrey Epstein and the files that were released are donating to Brad Schneider. Why? I don't have any donors in the Epstein files. I don't have any donors who are CEOs of healthcare insurance companies or weapons manufacturers. Who you take money from, as I found out when you're running for office, is a big deal. You need to be comfortable with who is funding your campaign. And the progressives, such as me and such as others who ran, we are a different breed. We're not for sale. We are focused on the people that we're serving and the projects and policies that we want, such as universal childcare, Medicare for all, no foreign wars, stop supporting Israel in their multiple genocides that they're carrying on right now in Lebanon and in Gaza. These are things that are actually important to progressives and not just progressives. Excuse me. So his donor base, his support for Israel, his inability to push and wield power in favor of Democrats when he has it. He's the head of the new Dem coalition. It's his job to whip votes and lead, and he's not doing it. Whenever Democrats have had leverage, it has been some of people in his caucus who have been the rotating villain, who have allowed Republican priorities to get through, even though we actually had the leverage and we had the votes if we just used them.
And folks, for those of you listening, here's an important fun fact. Marie had written a Substack sometime back, and she was on vacation, so she reran one of her Substacks. You know, Congress does not have an HR department. With that many Congress people, they appoint their own staff. They
Yeah,
pay
okay.
their own staff. And guess who gets those appointments? These are people who basically advise the congressperson on policies. And these people, if you dig into their background, you'll be amazed.
Doesn't
So
each congressperson have their own APAC person on staff?
there you
Isn't
go.
that kind of the way it works?
That's
That's kind
that's
of the
the
way it
way
works,
Sadly,
brother.
that's the way it works. Okay, most people are unaware of that. Okay, even if you're running a small business, you run a background check on every person that you hire, right? No,
Yeah.
Congress people don't have to do that. Okay, so the person who has donated the most money gets their person into the staff, and that is where uh, if you want to drain the swamp, you just don't take out the congressperson. You need to have some rules and regulations in place for these, I don't know if you can call them civic servants, because hey, they are not appointed by any authority that we have.
Right.
No,
So
no, they're
Murray
not.
brought up this great point in her Substack, and I want to talk to her again in the second hour, if she has a few minutes. So Morgan, thank you so much for joining us. We do have some more time, and Mike, I'm sorry I took over your thunder, because
I'm getting used to that.
I love this guy. Okay, because what Morgan did, not too many people had the courage to do that. Okay,
But if I may,
please go ahead.
I wanted to briefly, while we still have him here, um, uh, besides we do have a 2-hour show and, whatever. But uh, I want to snap you back to, I think, a very important topic, the data centers. Let's go back there
Yeah,
for, okay? Can we? Um,
absolutely.
I'm a little disturbed and more than a little disappointed in some of the unions that are unfortunately seem to be working a little too closely with the data center people. The operating engineers seem to be showing up in mass numbers, and my
Yep.
understanding is these people are being bussed around from dog and pony show to dog and pony show. Can you expand on that, please?
Certainly. So, one of the other things I'm doing, I'm on the board of directors of the Lake County Data Center Opposition Coalition. And right now, our main fight is against the T5 data center in Grayslake. So, this is going to be 472 acres, 1.1 million square feet, and 1.1 million square feet of compute, and 1.2 gigawatts of power. This thing is going to be a monster. We could have had the Bears in Grayslake, but we're going to have a data center instead, apparently. So there have been a series of town hall meetings in Mundelein, Grayslake, Round Lake Beach, and the most recent Grayslake one, the operating engineers showed up. They're all in brand new hats. They had printed out probably AI-generated talking points about why they support this project. The problem is, of the 8 guys that spoke, only one lives within 30 miles of Grayslake. We're not even sure these guys would be on the project. So yeah, they're sending guys around to support these projects. Now I understand it would be a lot of work for them, but at the same time, there's nobody local to Grayslake or Mundelein who's going to be affected by having this monstrosity nearby. My kid plays soccer in the park literally next door to this thing. It was done in secret. There was very little public knowledge of it before it went through. It's still very opaque. And this is one of the battles we think we can fight and win. And due to our pressure, the Lake County Board put a moratorium on the building of data centers in unincorporated Lake County. We published a couple of videos where we called them out. And literally the next week, the moratorium was passed. So this sort of pressure does work. Now that's a
Right.
bigger uphill fight for this hyper data center in Grayslake, but there's still some avenues that we have to try to stop it. And part of that is just building public pressure, because nobody wants this thing. Absolutely no one.
Yeah. Mike, I saw your comment on Facebook with this union guys touting the data center as to how good it is for the unions. Most of them don't realize that once the data center is built, there are no more jobs there for union people.
Right.
These data centers are run by skeleton crews, folks. There's no, if it's 1 million square feet, there's not going to be 100 jobs to run those data centers.
No,
Yeah,
they,
Grayslake says there's going to be 1,600 permanent jobs.
Nonsense.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
It's probably not that
1,600
much.
Ridiculous.
permanent jobs. Yeah, show me the facts on that one, okay?
And additionally, Lake County, we have a lot of water, but they said this thing's going to use 50,000 gallons of water a day. That's it. My daughter's middle school uses 50,000 gallons of water a day. It's not possible. It's a lie. Or they're being deliberately ignorant of what the facts are. Plus diesel generators, plus traffic, plus light pollution, noise pollution, you name it. There are any number of reasons why this is a bad idea. Falling property values. There's a huge subdivision going in Mundelein that's supposed to have 3,200 new houses in it. That's like 2 miles as the crow flies from this data center. Those developers aren't going to be happy.
No.
There's just so many bad things associated with this, and we can still stop it. T5 actually has a billboard up by O'Hare advertising that they're coming to Grayslake. So what that means is that they haven't sold their space. It's like, if you build it, they will come type of thing. And if we make a big enough stink, their customers are just going to be like, you know what? We don't need this smoke. We'll go somewhere else. So we do have a chance at a community level to put a stop to this thing.
Absolutely, and maybe you and I will talk soon, and I want to go to the leadership in the state AFL-CIO and find out, why is this happening? Why? How come these guys are being used as stooges for, propping up this data center, being bussed in? This is not just some random local making up policy. This has been approved by the state AFL-CIO. It has to be, and I plan on getting into this, and I would love to have you and I going into this together.
I'd love to as well. It's one thing if there are people in the union who do support it, who are living in Grayslake and Mundelein and around Lake Beach, and they're supporting it, fine. But these guys aren't from around here. They're being bussed around all of these town hall meetings in their own bus. Yeah.
Okay. So, folks, if you want to join the conversation, our guest on the Lightning Strike today is Morgan Coghill, who ran for Congress in the 10th Congressional District. And this is part of our segment that we have created called District Watch, where we want people who are vested in the districts, who know the issues at the grassroots level, to come and talk to us about what is happening in their neck of the woods that we need to be aware of. We can't be everywhere as the Lightning Strike, okay? We don't have the bandwidth for that. If you do want to help us create some bandwidth, please come for our fundraising dinner. Morgan, you're going to be coming for the fundraising dinner?
Absolutely. I'll be there.
Well, we'll send you information on that. It's Wednesday, July 29th.
Great.
At the Bolingbrook Civic Center, and Mary Basta has been so kind to work with us in getting us that space. Al Bawadi Grill is bringing some delicious dinner for all our guests over there. We're expecting about 200 people to show up. We have space for 250. So bring some friends with you, Morgan. And
we
also,
will.
Dr. White had Valerie on as our person of the week last week, and it's everything delicious for everyone. She's got this great thing, and she's going to be bringing in her samples for our people to try.
Terrific.
It's going to be an evening of celebration of independent media. Okay, we are the only show. If you have been listening so far, we don't take commercial advertising. We don't take corporate advertising. A lot of people approached us. I said, no, thank you. We'll do it our way. Okay.
Let
Mike,
me ask one more question.
carry on, please.
Um, and this is the lightning strike, and we really support you. We like you, but
Thank
I
you.
have to ask a question.
Sure.
That might make you feel a little uncomfortable, but
Fair enough.
why did you lose this election so badly?
Fair question, Mike. Fair question.
That is a fair question. Look, I hadn't run for office before. I have unique life experience, and I decided that going to Congress is the way for me to contribute. I had an issue with name recognition. I had an issue with money. For me, raising money was hard because I actually cared who gave it to me. So, as we all know, you can't win without money. I was outraised 20 to 1, outspent 10 to 1. And not a lot of people knew who I was until the day before the election or the day of. And on election day, I was flipping people at the polls, as were my volunteers. Now, I have a base of 15,000 votes that know who I am, that like me, and I've received dozens of messages since the election saying, "Oh man, I voted early. I wish I'd known who you were." So that 20 and change percent, we can make with a big enough head start now for me or someone like me. We put the Lake County Democrats and Brad Schneider on notice that the progressives aren't going away.
Right.
We're going to run somebody else, and we're not going to have the issues that they had in the 9th, where all of the progressive votes were being split. We're going to put someone forward, whether it's me or someone like me, and we're going to give Brad a run for his money, and he better be prepared that his days are numbered.
Well, Morgan, that's that's part of why we started the District Watch segment. Okay, to have people who are vested in the community get some publicity much before the elections, get involved with the community much before the elections. I mean, we have had people just jumping up and say, "I want to run for Congress." Yeah, what have you done for the community in the last 2 years, especially, right? So glad that you're taking the bull by the horns, and just hang on, I mean, eventually, those bulls fall. Okay,
they do,
and
they do.
That's going to be it. Chris, you got any questions for Morgan?
I do. I want to take you back to the AI data center and ask if you had read or watched any of the videos where people are interviewing those who live literally right next door to the data centers, and they're talking about the noise and the noise pollution and the air pollution and the lack of water pressure that they are now seeing in their homes. And some of these homes are like in new suburb areas. And I was just wondering if that had been brought up at all during your trying to get the data center to stop, if anybody had mentioned it, if you had mentioned it, because I don't know how widespread some of this knowledge with AI data centers are. I was a programmer, and I know what's involved in computers. So when I first heard about all these data centers going up all of a sudden, I was like, this is bad news. And now stuff is coming out. So I was just curious as to what you've been hearing, what your co-activists are hearing, and what you're pushing when you're talking.
Those are noise pollution, light pollution. These are issues that we brought up. The water pressure issue has been brought up. There's so many lines of attack on these things. The fact that there's 16 acres of wetlands literally next door that they want to fill in. And this is an area that is prone to flooding. So that matters.
It does matter, yeah.
Additionally, the amount of traffic, they want to widen roads around here to accommodate accommodate traffic. Well, if it's a data center, and you're not going to really have much in the way of diesel generators, why do you need roads? Why do you need roads that are wider? It's because they're going to put in massive diesel generators and they need to store the diesel on site. That's why. There's no other reason that they're going to do that.
Exactly.
So it's very opaque. There's big money behind this stuff, and we need to fight it. And it's not just, don't think this is just not in my backyard. This shouldn't be in anyone's backyard.
Correct.
We don't want these people to up stakes and go to some poor area in West Virginia or Alabama. We don't want these things at all. They don't help anyone except those who already have billions of dollars in their bank accounts.
Yeah, and I saw something that they were saying that there's so many data centers going in, and yet there's really not enough what's the word I'm looking for, need for that many data centers, because all the data centers they're talking about building are millions of square feet. They're going to have tens of thousands of processors and computers in there all strung together. Who's going to really need it? I mean,
and those chips are going to be obsolete in 6 months with as fast as this is developing. The payoff period is 5 years or 6 years, but they're going to be done in 6 months. They're not going to be top of the line anymore.
Right. So, and they were saying that they're expecting, because of the way that data centers work and how quickly they're putting them together, the physical structure of the buildings only have about a 10-year lifespan before it will cost too much to make repairs and keep it up, the facility itself viable. And I didn't know if that was really true or not. That's just something somebody mentioned. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I wouldn't, my house is 40 years old. It's still standing. And if they're building these things what are they made out of?
Right.
If they can only stand for 10 years.
Well, the faster you put something up, generally the lower the quality of the components. I'm trying to be nice here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, guys. Most of these data centers are owned by a small number of large corporations like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft, Google, Meta. So these are not like publicly owned facilities that will help the public. And a typical $1 billion data center, once the construction is done, actually creates maybe about 60 to 100 permanent jobs, not the 1,600 or something that you're being sold by the Lake County people. And that is and the other thing is I'm a huge proponent for green energy and green environment. A data center uses enough energy to power like hundreds and thousands of homes in the neighborhood over there. And where do you think that energy is coming from? Because once it gets going, there's going to be an increased reliance on fossil fuel power plants if renewable energy is insufficient. They're not going to be running off of solar panels, right?
Right.
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Morgan.
No, I'm sure that they'll propose it as saying, oh, well, we got these 10 solar panels, so that's going to help supply some of our electricity. But we're talking diesel generators. One of their talking points is that ComEd is building a 1.2 gigawatt substation on the property itself, which, okay, great, but that's just a routing station. It's not generating electricity, it's pulling it from the grid.
Right.
Now, my house, we put solar panels on our house about a year ago. It's great, but our electricity bills haven't gone down as much as we thought because the delivery charges, as everyone knows in Illinois, have gone through the roof. We're still paying for that when we're pulling from the grid. So this is not a good thing for this part of Lake County. It's an environmental disaster, and it could very well be an economic one. We could have this massive eyesore after the AI bubble pops, and all of this land that was zoned for light industrial, warehousing, offices, it's going to have all of these crumbling buildings on it that are going to last five or 10 years, and you can't do anything else with it.
Okay, 8:59, folks. Coming up on 9 o'clock, we'll be taking a station break at 9 o'clock, but you can continue to listen to us on our live feed on Facebook, and also you can go back and listen to this whole conversation. Our guest on our District Watch is Morgan Coghill, who ran for office in the 10th Congressional District of Illinois, talking about local concerns. And the biggest concern that's up there right now is the huge data centers that are coming up over there. Morgan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
If you can stay with us for another 5 to 6 minutes before we bring Marie Newman in for her segment. And Marie is going to be talking about some pretty interesting thing, including the fact that she's going to be going to the Obama Center for July 4th.
Great.
Oh, boy. Okay, so data centers typically, Morgan, they run 24/7, right?
Yes.
The equipment includes what? Cooling fans, backup generators, HVAC systems, electrical infrastructure. Many residents now who are living near these data centers are reporting a constant low frequency noise. And there have been a lot of complaints and lawsuits have been filed now over this data center noise. I want to talk to an environmental expert, Mike, if we can bring, or Morgan, if you know someone that you can refer to us as to, and maybe a medical doctor, as to what impact does this low frequency noise have on people's health?
Yeah, we've heard that as well. The talking point from the other side as well. Those are old data centers. That doesn't happen anymore.
Oh, come on.
Exactly. Especially if they're being put up as shoddily as Chris is saying. Come on. It's just like little people, leave us alone. Let us make our money. And one of the other issues with the data centers is that they run 24/7, but they have massive spikes and valleys in power. And that is part of the issue in keeping them running properly, is that, like a server farm back, 10 years ago, they're running pretty consistently, throughout the day. You don't have these peaks and valleys of power. And that's where the grid gets stressed. And that's where you get the spikes in your electricity bills, because they're starting to suck so much juice from the grid, and they're starting to kick their generators on because people are making, I don't know, cat memes or something on ChatGPT or Claude. So we need to be wary of that, and the companies that are building these things don't want to put in the fail safes and the infrastructure to even out those sorts of loads, because it's expensive. It costs money. And
so, Morgan, in your neck of the woods in Lake County, who are the elected officials that we could educate? I'm going to be very careful with the use of this word over here. Educate on these issues, and playing the devil's advocate. God, I wanted to say Trump's advocate, but that is pretty self-explanatory over there. Okay. We do need technology, right? Technology is growing.
yes.
How do we support this growing technology if there's going to be no data centers?
Well, we have more data centers. We have 10 times more data centers than China already. Start making efficient use of what you've got. All these guys are in this massive race to AGI. There's a lot of things that AI is useful for. There's a ton of things, but they're small. They're things that are job specific. For instance, helping a radiologist look at scans and to do it efficiently. It's making jobs more efficient, not trying to take them away. All of these big guys are focused on taking jobs away. But there needs to be some regulation in place. For us, it's the wild, wild west. To give you an example, in China, during finals week in high schools, I think it was high school or college, all of the AI systems are shut down, so that kids, if they were doing their homework just with AI, all of a sudden they can't use it anymore for their final exams. So
Interesting.
so these sorts of
That's
that
cool.
there are ways to regulate.
Our kids would freak out if that happens. Okay.
Yep.
There's going to
Yep.
be massive, massive protests. Now, my question, the first part of the question was, who are the local legislators over there
Oh, I'm
in
sorry.
Lake
Yes.
County?
The big
And
one is,
how do we educate them?
well, Mayor Davies of Grayslake is the one that we really need to talk to, and the Grayslake Board of Trustees.
The following
We
program, The Lightning Strike, is sponsored by Mohammed Faheem. And to
Okay,
the
There you
extent
go.
applicable,
the
their
station
guests.
break.
The views and opinions
Okay.
expressed
Coming
therein do
back
not
after the station
necessarily
break
reflect
on
those of Heartland
WCPT.
Signal, LLC, or its management.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Faheem.
Okay, so we are back live on WCPT. And Morgan, a couple more minutes. So
Sure.
Mayor Daley and who else?
Mayor Davies in Grayslake is one that we're trying to get a lot of dialogue with, as well as the Board of Trustees in Grayslake. That's where this project was approved. It's under the jurisdiction of Grayslake, and basically throughout Lake County, we're reaching out to all of the elected officials and all of the municipalities to try to get a similar moratorium on data centers like the Lake County Board did for unincorporated Lake County. We also want it for municipalities as well, so that the data center companies know that there's no safe haven here. So I would talk to Mayor Davies in Grayslake. She would be the one that is the big one to talk to.
Hey, Mike.
She
Mike,
Yes, sir.
do you have the contact for Mayor Davies?
Well, we will get that. I'll work with
Yes.
Morgan. I was going to ask.
I'll get it for you.
Yeah, Morgan,
Yeah,
please
we'll
share the
get that.
contact information.
Yes.
And yeah, let's. They are public servants, okay? The operative word is public servants. They work for us. They don't own us, okay? And this is a public forum. Let them come, and let us know why are they making these decisions. So, folks, again, if you have anything that you want to share with us after the show, please go to our line, and not the line that you see on Chris's shoulder over there, but it is 312-857 for TLS, the Lightning Strike, 312-857-8281. You can leave us a message, and we will get to see what you have to say on these topics. Because I know getting up early in the morning on Sunday mornings, not too many people get up, and those who are up are probably going to celebrate Father's Day and going to church now. Okay. Bob from Michigan wants to comment on the data centers. Good morning, Bob. Welcome to the Lightning Strike.
Good morning. Happy Father's Day and all of that fine hoopla to everybody there. And the mothers, too. Can't forget them. But I live here just on the outskirts of Michigan City. And on the northwest side of town at an old factory that I used to work at many years ago, that's being converted right now into one of the AI data centers. And just on Friday, I went with a friend of mine to show it to him. And at least this time, instead of my little car, I was in his big pickup truck, so I could kind of see over their fence. They don't have any really signs even telling you what's going on. Mm-hmm. But I could get a better view of it because I was on the passenger side looking at it. And my God, it looks like something out of a science fiction show now. And there are two brand new, I think they are both, they look like they're about 138,000 volt power lines dedicated to this thing. Wow. That it just cropped up going into it. So, I mean, they even look spooky, so I can imagine they would be noisy from the machinery and everything that I could see. And they got big cranes that they're far from done. And my God, they are something, I can tell you, having seen it.
And here's the thing again, Bob. That's what we have been talking about. These are not public facilities, okay? These are owned by these big corporations like Amazon Web Services, Meta, and companies like that, which are already making billions, and the health impact is going to be tremendous down the road. I can almost guarantee you that. Okay.
Well, there's a little community there of it's like an older subdivision, and then there's a public school about less than a half mile from it, and but none of this is. Don't worry, none of it's in what you would call a high rent district.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, thank you so much for joining us, and do keep listening to the Lightning Strike, and please go to our website tlsradio.com. You can support the show and keep us doing these things. Remember, Morgan, the fluorescent lighting in offices at one time. Everything is being replaced now because those fluorescent lights had that low hum.
Yep.
And it was proven scientifically that that was not good for the health of the people in the factories and the offices, even at homes. Everything is getting changed out now, right?
Absolutely. No, the low hum. Additionally, with these data centers, it's not like these are new issues. It'd be one thing if we were at the very start of this data center boom and people were building these things, but they didn't know what the issues were. We have a decade that we know what's been happening, especially with these monstrosities like this one they're trying to put in Grayslake. This isn't new. Yeah, the Grayslake board should have never approved this thing. They should have known better.
Well, let's bring in Marie Newman. Good morning, Marie.
Good morning. Happy
morning.
Father's Day to all that celebrate and all that enjoy.
Morgan, you're welcome to stay on if you would like to. And Marie, we started off the show today with knock jokes on Father's Day.
Oh. I love those, and I don't have one. I'm so sorry.
Well, Dr. White, you want to go and share a couple of those again?
Yes, please.
You need to unmute yourself, Sheila.
Hey guys, I was just saying, Father's Day is a time where kids come up to dad with great humor. And Michelle, Congressman, I would like to say, knock, knock.
Who's there?
There.
Ice cream.
Ice cream? Who?
Ice cream, so you can hear me.
Every mother ever on this planet.
Yes.
Okay.
Every mother ever.
So that's how the show started this morning, Marie, with having lots of fun. And then obviously I tore into the obsession with making presidential libraries all over the country. Yeah. When that money could have been better spent, updating services to the constituents. And, $850 million for a presidential library that in 6 months, nobody's going to be going over there except for tourists. Okay.
Here's what I'll say. If you haven't been there yet, do reserve all your judgment, because
that is one library, okay?
Yeah, look, all of them are extravagant. I don't agree with the idea of it in nature. This one, meaning the Obama Presidential Center, it does have a full Chicago Public Library, full. It's one of the largest installations of the entire network. It does have several outdoor properties. Kids can play, everything from basketball to playgrounds that are safe and a bunch of different things. So it has done a better job than many of them. But in theory and in premise and concept, it seems all of the concept of a presidential library, I don't love that idea. But this one did it a lot better than most. I will say that.
Well, and just wait till Trump comes in with his monstrosity.
Yeah.
After he's
Can't
done.
wait.
So Morgan had to go, guys, and thank you, Morgan, so much for joining us. That was Morgan Coghill on our segment District Watch, which is going to be the first and the third Sunday of the month. But let's go back to Marie. And Marie, what's on your mind today, dear?
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Father's Day to everyone, and welcome to Ignore at Your Risk, the Father's Day edition. So today I have a few topics. One is I want to do a little compare and contrast of Trump's quote unquote Iran deal versus Obama's. And then we're going to talk about July 4th a little bit because I think it's so important in advance of it to take back patriotism, the flag, red, white, and blue, and all the things that all Americans, it shouldn't just be one side. And then I want to talk about what many very conservative Democrats and independents are calling Mamdaniism. Interestingly, independents are warming to Mamdani a lot better than conservative Democrats because he's doing it really well, right? He is being practical and creating practical solutions. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But let's dive into this Iran deal. Well, first of all, we don't know it's quite a deal. So to clarify, it's a MOU, which is a memorandum of understanding, and effectively that is a plan to plan to plan. Just so you know what that means in both business language and in government language. So it doesn't do a whole lot, although it allows for a ceasefire. Now, that is complicated, as we all know, by the fact that Israel continues to pummel Lebanon and is not participating in the ceasefire. So already we learned late yesterday that Iran put out a statement on their state media citing U.S. has demonstrated bad faith, and it's clear that this is a breach of their commitments by failing to end the war, and warned that if the aggression continues, subsequent steps have been planned. So let's call this an outline of a deal. And that deal may not be very helpful. What we all do know, and I'll try to be as generous as possible, is that we are in a lesser position now with this deal than we were before the deal was made, and far worse than before the JCPOA, which was Obama's Iran deal. So what I thought might be instructive is we just do a side by side, right? Is that under the Trump deal, they have unfrozen about 100 billion and somewhere between 200 and 300 billion more in terms of lifting sanctions. So we're effectively giving them somewhere between 300 and 400 billion dollars. Obama gave them 1.7 billion in unfrozen assets, and that was it. So the payment that goes with this deal is extraordinary. 300 to 400 billion with a B on the Trump side, 1.7 billion unfrozen on Obama's deal. So let's talk about nukes, right? So in Obama's JCPOA, there were no nukes. In writing, they all agreed, and there was a requirement to have independent inspectors and penalties for violation. Under Trump's deal, it's no nukes in writing, but there's no watchdog group. There's nothing to prevent them from not adhering to the deal with regard to nukes, and they haven't committed to it yet. They're just saying that, hey, we're going to talk about that in the next 60 days. So under Obama's deal, Strait of Hormuz open. Trump deal, Strait of Hormuz is reopened because it closed under his administration, but only for the first 60 days. After that, there will be tolls. So lesser position. Sanctions on Iran were still committed under the Obama deal. Under Trump's deal, all sanctions, meaning all, are lifted. The Obama deal dealt with a hardline supreme leader, and now we have a more hardline leader in that gentleman's son. So let's all remind ourselves, under the Obama deal, it was 2 years of heavy negotiation, diplomatic work that was very, very hard won, but no war. In fact, no even conflict, nothing, right? No violence. Under Trump's deal, there are 15 Americans dead. There are 550 Americans injured. Gas prices have skyrocketed. The economy has been affected, not just here, but globally. tens of billions of dollars spent on the war. In fact, just so you know, I think everybody probably caught it, but Trump indicated that just that last bombing siege cost 250 billion. So we're now looking at much more than what they say. They're saying that it was somewhere between 25 and 50 billion, but clearly it's much more than that. In the Obama deal, we stood up to Iran and held our ground and gained some ground. Under Trump's deal, Iran knows that they can survive a war with the USA. They're a country of 93 million people. They have some assets in terms of military, including their drone force is quite significant. And while not as sophisticated as ours, they can keep going for a really long time. So they've shown that they can stand up to the US, which is not a small thing. Under the Obama deal, there are no reparations. So back to that, unpeeling that 100 billion in unfreezing assets, the 300 billion in reparations funds, and we didn't have under Obama, we didn't have to give them any reparations. So I guess this is what Trump calls the art of the deal, in which case I wouldn't say, I don't know quite what to replace the word art with, but it's definitely not something positive. So here we are. We're sitting at great expense. The economy has been shattered. People are paying outrageous. They're paying 50% more for gas in some cases, but definitely 25% across the nation. And now, as of this morning, Iran is again threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz, accusing Israel and the U.S. of violating the truth. So let's stay tuned. I will be intrigued to see what happens here. I'm going to hope for the best, and I hope the violence ends because we all want the war to be over. But let's not be under any delusion that this was a war that had a good outcome in any way. It did not. So let's turn the corner to something happier. July 4th. I want to remind everybody what a special day this is. And for whatever you think about this current administration, let's focus on the real thing, which is the birthday of our independence as a whole America. So I want everybody to really think long and hard and call on all of your neighbors and your family and friends and loved ones to take patriotism back, take the flag back. I never took mine down because I didn't want MAGA to ever own the flag. And I've got 2 of them up now, just to show. Take back red, white, and blue. Wear all your red, white, and blue during the July 4th week. Stop letting our certain parts of this country, and now it's a much smaller portion of the country, hijack all of our beautiful symbols, red, white, and blue, flag, all of our founding fathers, and show your patriotism in a very visual way. Go to fireworks, have backyard parties, talk to neighbors maybe you don't necessarily talk to all the time, or maybe go to the Obama Center, and that's all I'll say. But I also want to talk about something else happening that's very American, that we are innovating. This is really, really interesting to me. So what we're seeing is our progressives and democratic socialists do really well. And it's because they're talking about everyday solutions to everyday problems, and they're winning. So I'll highlight a few races I'm watching very closely. One is Chris Robb in Pennsylvania 3. Great guy, just steeped in a bunch of great ideas and really understands how to execute them. And he's doing very well in Pennsylvania. He won the nomination, the Democratic nomination. Mulat Quiros in Colorado is running against a very old school Democrat, Diana Georgette in Colorado 1. And she is very out there with her very practical solutions. She labels as democratic socialist solutions. And Dr. Abdul El-Sayed is likely to beat out 2 very old guard, old school establishment players. In fact, it looks like he is leading by double digits right now in a field of 3. And to be clear, he is, and we will likely have him on the show in the next month or so, but he is likely going to be outspent something like 15-1. So if he wins, what that means, what this all means, as these folks all likely will win, is that in fact, practical solutions work, folks. and it's called Progressivism and Democratic Socialism. So let's go with practical solutions. And then I will also put in that bucket, and it's a big bucket, is Mayor Zoran Mamdani. He's keeping his promises. Already, New York City is reporting historically low crime during his first 6 months in office. He's addressing housing. He has put together a clear and very detailed position and path and a roadmap for building 200,000 new affordable homes and preserving another 200,000. So 400,000 available homes in a city of 8 million people. That is significant. And then, interestingly, he's also cracking down on negligent landlords and people that are unfair. So the other thing that I think is really remarkable is that he announced a first of its kind insurance program that will reduce the cost of property and liability insurance. And that's deep, and you can go Google that for yourself. But finally, I'll say he's also secured funding for childcare so that folks that are working a wage job can afford to put their kids in childcare. And it's a private-public partnership. And they unveiled that with partnership across the state. So what are Mayor Mamdani, Chris Rabb, Dr. El Sayed, and Puros doing that are all in common? They're creating practical solutions to everyday problems. So let's watch them, let's get excited, and let's help all of our friends understand that these solutions will really work, and we should be voting for all these folks. So, and I'm going to be talking more on my Substack this week about that, but and you can always go visit at Marie Newman Studio on Substack, or visit us here. But I really do, I want to reiterate, like, it's just so critically important we take back patriotism, folks. So really work on that this week if you can. So with that, I'll hand it back to our trusty leader, Mohammed.
Thank you, Marie. Talking about patriotism, I mean, a long time back, I think almost like 10 years back, I had started this initiative that for the 4th of July, try to buy Made in America products.
Yeah.
Agreed. I would hate to fly a flag, American flag made in China. Okay. Yeah, it may cost a little bit more.
Yeah.
But hey, support our local economy, folks.
Right.
Obviously the fireworks will have to come from China. Let's give them credit for that. We don't do those fireworks over here. But all these buntings and shuntings and all of those little flags that you try to see if you can find in Barrington, Marie, there is a store that only sells Made in America merchandise.
Oh, really? Oh, folks, go to Barrington.
Okay.
It's beautiful this time of year.
Yep. I know. I mean, I was good friends with the lady who started that. But Mike, you want to say something? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to expand on what you said briefly, Marie and Mohammed. Yeah, buy American, unions have union made lists of products. You can go to any of their websites and buy union made products as well.
Agree. Here.
Yep, and that is so important, folks. Yep, 250 years. And I really, really want everyone to come out and celebrate. It's not just about, barbecues and, fireworks. It's about being proud to be an American.
It really is. And, I keep encouraging everybody. And as much as we like to pick political fights, I'll tell you, I was on a vacation with 10 people and we all had, I would say half of us had very different politics than me. And we had some of the most respectful, lovely conversations because you know what? We all put our egos at the front door. And
Marie, talking about that, we had Rachel Ventura as our guest last week when you were not here. And the criticism of Rachel that we kept on hearing before she came on, she's anti-union.
That's crazy. Right
and
there.
That was put to rest by Rachel herself. I would like people to go back. We've already posted the show on our YouTube channel, folks, at TLS Radio. Mm-hmm. Check it out. Okay, Rachel has been so upfront with everything that she said. She said, she would love to see the warehouses getting unionized.
Yeah.
You know, those
It would solve a
the
lot of problems. Honestly, it would be better
yeah,
for everybody, including the unions.
yep,
But it would be better for everybody.
the average salary there is $16 an hour,
Mhm.
and it costs $26, if I remember. That's what she said, an hour to live in her district.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
these people are actually busing in people from other parts of the state, and from uh, other parts of the city also, to
Yeah.
work in these sweatshops, and there are no unions. And
Yeah.
Rachel was in full support of having these facilities unionized. So
So
I don't know
Mohammed,
where.
I was out, if I could, I was
Yep.
with Rachel a couple of years ago. She met me over at the Amazon warehouse, and when they were doing the union drives there. So Rachel's always been a
Yeah.
very strong union supporter.
So I don't know where this thing was being
You
floated.
know,
I, I
there's,
I was under tremendous pressure, Marie, from a number of people, and we
oh no, you
discussed
called
this.
me.
Yeah, not to get Rachel on the show. Oh, she's anti-union. No, that was put to rest
Oh,
when she came
So
in.
that means that we should have her on the show more, right?
Obviously,
Let's have her
yes.
come in regularly.
absolutely.
When somebody's telling you what to do, again, this is not state media, which is why Mohammed and team exist, folks, is that we're not state media and we tell it like it is and we tell the truth. It's so when someone calls the host of a show and says you can't have her on there, that means we should definitely have her on here.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
And that's what we did. I may have lost a couple of friends, but hey,
Were
you
they
know,
friends though? If
have
they're going to get mad about someone coming on and telling the truth, then they're not a
have
friend.
a conversation. My invitation to them was, yeah, call in or you come on and you, take her to task and say, hey, explain it. But if you don't want to do that, thank you. Okay, we are still going to be my friends. I don't burn bridges that easy. 9:30, and I don't think Maria is going to be joining us today. I don't see her joining us, but we do have our person of the week. You want to bring
Right?
him in a little bit early, Sheila?
Yeah, I just want to say that Congresswoman had that was a great rant. I'll say it that way. We should be
Yes.
celebrating on the 4th. It's America's birthday, and so we celebrate birthdays.
That's right.
So that was really, really great. Our person of the week is Mr. James McCoy, who's online. If he can turn on his camera, this gentleman, I'm so excited about this gentleman because he has over 30 years of aviation experience and 12 years as a Marine aviator. And he's worked for 18 years as an acquisition professional to procure aircrafts and weapon systems for the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps. So we've been celebrating last month. We were celebrating veterans. This is one of the gentlemen that I'm so proud of what he's doing. He's the founder of Flight Live Systems, which is a consulting firm for aviation. So, wow, there's airplanes flying over the Obama Center, by the way. There was aircraft flying over that, Mohammed. We got to keep coming back to that. But I want to welcome James McCoy to America's The Lightning Strike. Welcome, Mr. McCoy.
Outstanding. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to the
Morning.
listening audience in general. And thank you for having me this morning.
Good morning, James, and happy Father's Day to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Same to you all, where it most applicable.
Well, you missed Dr. White's jokes. We started on the show with knock-knock jokes on Father's Day.
Yeah, some good
Yeah,
knock-knock
it's
jokes.
it's
A
not
lot of kids have good jokes for dad, so
yeah,
we
it's
had to
not
start it
all
out.
about being serious and talking about politics for 2 hours. That's not what the show is about. We do like to highlight issues that the American public should be aware of and hold our elected representatives accountable. That was the whole intent of the show. Is we are not owned by lobbyists. We are not owned by corporate PACs. We are self-funded. Okay, and James, we'd love to have you join us at our first fundraising dinner on July 29th. Sheila will share the information with you. It's going to be in
Definitely.
the evening, July 29th, Wednesday. at the Bolingbrook Civic Center.
Mm-hmm.
And for folks who are unable to join us on the 29th, you can always go to our website, tlsradio.com, become a paid subscriber for as little as $10 a month, or you can send us a bolt of lightning with whatever amount that you can spare to keep this show going. It is all on our website, tlsradio.com. Sheila, please go ahead. I'm sorry to butt in, but you did want to invite James to the show.
He definitely understands lightning being in the air all those years. I'm sure he saw his share of lightning in the air. But Mr. McCoy, I want to begin by talking to you about how are you reaching the community with more knowledge about aviation? It's such an important topic. It's such an important career. So how are you reaching the community with more knowledge about aviation? Because I know you work with a lot of young people.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the question, and thank the very capable and skilled team there for the invitation on the 29th of July. I intend to be there. So to answer the question, one of the things we're trying to do to help reach the community is conduct aviation outreach career days. I've started in the village of Lansing, and the purpose of the Aviation Youth Career Day is to expose our young people to the many careers in aviation. Many people think aviation and they just think pilots. Well, that's not just true. We have more than just pilots that are flying in the air or keep aircraft in the air. We have maintainers, we have logisticians, we have aerospace engineers, and the gamut of engineers that support air. We have management. And so there's a whole career of entrepreneurs that also exist within the aviation industry. And I'll just say that the aviation industry represents about 5.25% of our nation's GDP. That is a huge portion. It equates to about $1.1 trillion of our nation's income. And so there's an opportunity. I'm going to segue into something Mr. Faheem said, which is about what we can do with our young people. And so exposing them to aviation is one thing, but laying a ground or a path for them to achieve those goals and fill in is what we're trying to achieve with launching an aviation academy at the end of this calendar year right here in Lansing at its municipal airport and with the local school district that should be available for most schools in the suburban area. And why is that important? It's important because the research suggests that in the next 5 to 10 years, there will be about or approximately 17,000 jobs available within the aviation industry. Getting our young people ready to fill those roles is essential.
Let's talk a little bit about your summer skies training that young people are involved with. You do a number of different types of training, but the summer trainings that you have, tell us a little bit about how intensive it is. And is it easy, or the success rate? Because some people are afraid to fly in general on a plane, let alone become an aviator.
Yes, ma'am. And allow me to maybe clear up one point. So my firm works out of Lansing Airport. It got started here last year, but there were two companies that work independent of Flightline System that are also here and that were here prior to me arriving here. And those are the businesses and schools that teach training. So one of the schools you just mentioned, it's called Summer Skies. And what's unique about Summer Skies is it's a helicopter business. They do flight training for students as well as conduct tours. So for people that are interested in taking a tour from the South suburban area into the city and back, I suggest giving Summer Skies a call. The other school is called Region Flyers, and they teach private pilot license for private general aviation aircraft.
Now, there's so much innovation going on with aviation on today because the world has gotten so much larger with technology. What are some of the new things that you can kind of alert our audience on that's happening? Because young people have so many ideas. There's so many creatives out there. I know you were talking once about a young lady and the ideas that she had compared to when you guys had to suit up. You had all this heavy gear. And this young lady's like, I got an idea. So tell us about some of the innovative ideas that are coming up now that we may not be aware of in aviation.
Thank you. So, yes, so I was conducting an aviation presentation to a school right here in Lansing, Revis, where some of the brightest students reside. I was in their fifth grade class and displaying many of the antiquated equipment. I'll just say antiquated because I call myself antiquated equipment that I used to fly with. And I asked, uh, showing this equipment, hey, how could you change the future? And again, without just skipping a beat, young lady went right into, I know we can take a lot of the information that you used to use or carry to the aircraft on paper and that the pilots are now using with tablets, and we can display it right on your helmet display. And my immediate thought was, how brilliant was that? And so I think part of the mission for all of us collectively is to get behind showing and exposing our young people about the things that they can do to make the innovative steps of the future become possible.
James,
it's
I
so
got a
interesting.
question here for
Go
Sheila. I
ahead.
just want to jump in real quick
Sure.
because this was on my mind for a while. When you are approaching these students, is there an age limit to this?
That's a great question. I have what I called our approach for my firm on two levels with our students. So yes, there is an age limit. The first age limit or level is or are middle school students. So from sixth grade to eighth grade, because it is important to have at least some of the fundamentals of reading, writing, and arithmetic in your back pocket to be able to understand some of the concepts we talk about and think about how you can apply those. The second level, probably more near and dear to most people, are high school students because they're right next to that career bubble. They're making career choices, especially our seniors, about what they want to do. And I feel it's very essential for all of us to get behind them and point their way. We have military careers in aviation that they can embark on, enlisted, and go down a very rich career in aviation, avionics, maintainers, etc. Did I answer your question, sir?
Yeah. And speaking of something like that, are you aware of any grant funding through the VIOA program? Because in my previous life, I used to run those programs for the Illinois WorkNet Center in the Arlington Heights Unemployment Office. The Workforce Innovation and Optimization Act has funding available. We had started a program for youth called the Manufacturing Careers Internship Program. That is now a flagship program all over the state and in other parts of the country. It was recognized as a best practice in workforce development. I helped to launch that program, about 15 years back now. Mm-hmm. But there are funds available through the Workforce Innovation Optimization Act program. So if you could explore that with the school districts that you're working with, that would be something very useful. Also, if we can bring in some of the, people who have been incarcerated back into the workforce, especially young kids who have lost faith in the system. You can work with the Safer Foundation, for example. I used to work with them extensively into bringing people back into the workforce who have paid their dues to the to society. So I just wanted to throw that out. Sheila, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just have a question about, you worked a number of years as an acquisition professional to procure aircraft's weapon systems for the United States Navy as well as the Marine Corps. How is that going? Because right now we're spending lots of money on aircrafts in this war, and people are kind of frustrated. So, do you know anything about that of late, of what's going on? Are we getting something back, or are we just pushing everything out there and giving it stuff away, so to speak?
Since I'm no longer part of DoD, anything I would offer would be purely speculation.
Okay.
And I don't want to speculate on anything. I think DoD has a very vital mission to our nation's national security. And so I would defer any specific questions about what DoD is doing and how they're doing it and when they're doing it directly to those folks that have that responsibility. My firm, Flightline System, is a for-profit organization, and we are trying to expose our young people to opportunities in aviation, as well as advance some technological ideas that I have for my firm.
That's so awesome. James, how easy is it to bring down a B-52 bomber?
Well, you'd have to ask someone with that intent,
Okay.
as I do not have that intent, and nor would I wish that upon
Murray
anyone.
was smiling away. So let's see if the rest of our panel have any questions for you. Fortunately, today Maria Muzaffar is not joining us, so we get to spend more time with you. Guys, any questions for Mr. McCoy? Go ahead, Murray.
Well, good morning, James, and thank you for all your amazing work. You're so right, shaping the minds and training folks, the future generations. I can't tell you how important that is, because in some industries, we are losing that brain trust, and we have a lot of brain drain in our country related to some of the policies of this administration, sadly. So without getting into the politics of it, you may have touched on this and I missed it. Are you, as part of your consulting work, are you helping shape specific recruitment programs into your field to help people get excited about your field?
So I think that's an indirect aspect of the formation of these strategic principles that I'm building my firm on. Again, the initial thrust is with young people, because there will be such a gap in the aviation career field in the next 5 to 10 years. And our young people, as I've indicated through Ms. White's observation and question, is when I went to the school, our young people have some brilliant ideas about how to pursue life. The educational system is supposed to be geared toward helping them with those principles. And so I think I may have answered a portion of your question. I'm a little distracted by this wonderful looking panel and those great looking glasses. So please, you may have to re-ask that question again.
Well, I do have one more question, if I may, Mohammed.
Yes.
So, I'm struck by I just came off a long flight I got home late last night. I was on a 9-hour flight, and I am struck by how enthusiastic I find all aviation professionals. And I fly a lot. I have my entire career as a management consultant, so I was sometimes flying every week. I was a member of Congress, and that's a whole thing. And flying at every hour of the night in every country, right? So I just want to make a comment more than a question, is that we all have to remember that it is the safest way to travel, and it is, right? Correct, James? It's still safer than ground travel, correct?
It absolutely is.
Yeah. So it's still the safest way to travel for a reason, and it's because good people come into this profession. So what I will say is, it's not really a question, is that let's thank folks like James and his teams, that they're not only done the great work and served their industry and all the people, but they are bringing other folks like them into the industry. So thank you.
Well, Mike has a question for you, James.
Okay, can I respond just quickly to that? And I'll be very quick. I'm just a small cog in the larger piece, of course, and I'd like to give credit to those folks that came before me. So the Wright brothers back in 1903, what an amazing job they did. We had people like Glenn Curtiss, who developed the first aircraft to land on water and take off on water. Henry Ford, who came up with the tri-mortar. We still have at the village of Lansing the original Ford hangar that he designed and developed and was celebrating this year. And so there are a lot of brilliant people that came before James McCoy, Tuskegee Airmen, Amelia Earhart, Charles Lindbergh. All these wonderful pioneers in aviation came and did and made a contribution to aviation so that Captain Snellenberger can take off from New York's major, busiest airport, have an emergency in flight, land on the Hudson River, and save virtually everyone on board the aircraft. So we've got a lot of brilliant people, and to your credit, ma'am, you did mention there's some pretty brave and people with high integrity.
Well, it's back to Mike for his question now, James. Okay.
Good morning, James.
Good morning, Mr. Patino. Good to see you. Look at that handsome face. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Same to you. I
Hey,
appreciate
you guys,
coming
hang
on.
on one second. You guys share the same hairstyle, okay?
That's right. Our
Thank
barber
you.
called me this morning. He says we got to come back and meet him.
Exactly. I work on it every day. I really appreciate you coming out of my industry. I retired from American Airlines after 35 years
Ah,
and was heavily involved in the union, of course. And are you expanding and are you concentrating on other airlines as well, specifically, the domestic airlines as far as offering your consulting services?
I have not focused on commercial airlines just yet. I'm looking for points of contacts, Mr.
Yeah.
Patino. So if you have any recommendations and you'd like to share that with me, please do, and I'll be more than happy to incorporate that in our efforts going forward.
Oh, I'd be happy to. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, James, I work very closely with, I live in Plainfield over here, and I work very closely with our local school district also. We have the, Plainfield Community Alliance that we started, and we do all kinds of things informing people, and Dr. White is a part of that too. Uh, do you have time to kind of come and do an information session at our local school districts and school district 202, if I can connect with the superintendent over there?
Absolutely. We'll make time.
Yeah, that would be awesome, because when we started the manufacturing careers internship program, uh, when I went around to schools and colleges, schools, mostly high schools, most of the people over there, the counselors, were focused on getting kids into a 4-year college. They did not want to talk at all about other careers which don't require a 4-year college degree. And I've done a number of workshops on careers which don't require a 4-year college degree. Right out of high school, if you get into CNC programming, for example, in 10 years you'll be making $100,000 with no debt on your shoulders, right? And so programs like yours are going to be just awesome. I will talk with the Will County Workforce Development Chief also, Michelle Stiff, heads the Will County Workforce Board over here. She's running for Will County Clerk too, and let me bring it up to Michelle also. See, maybe we can do it in Will County at the local schools and in partnership with School District 202. See, these are the kind of ideas that come up, and
Yeah.
all thanks to Sheila for bringing such brilliant guests on. Sheila, thank you. I mean, it takes a lot to
Yes.
identify people and then have them come on a Sunday morning, especially with the fresh haircut.
That's right.
So we'll give Chris a couple of minutes. Chris, you got any questions for James?
I do. Thank you for coming, Mr. McCoy. I really enjoyed your little presentation on what you do. I was just wondering, how are the kids that you're reaching out to? Are they fully excited? Are your programs filling up? Is there a lot of interest? Are they receptive to learning some new stuff
Ms.
outside
Hil
of the school?
Ms. Hilbert, good morning. Good to see you.
Thank
And
you.
speaking of hair, your hair looks wonderful this morning.
Thank
And
you.
yes, so does yours, Miss White, Dr. White. To answer your question, yes, the children are very receptive to
Awesome.
hearing something that's different. And one of the approaches that we're trying to use is the new and emerging technology, which are drones for the aviation community to expose them to aviation. And it's just like Mr. Faheem mentioned, there are so many other careers that do not require a college degree. Drone technology does not require, or drone operations does not require a college degree. Um, Aviation maintenance does not require a college degree. You can finish aviation maintenance school right here in the South Side of Chicago
Hmm.
and in 16 months,
Wow.
and then be earning approximately $65,000 to $70,000 as an entry-level job. And that's enough, certainly, to get started and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So companies like Rolls-Royce and Pratt& Whitney are approaching these aviation maintenance schools and asking,
Wow.
hey, who's graduating? So yes, ma'am, they are interested and they're listening.
Wonderful. That's
Just
wonderful.
think of
I
it.
like that. I wish I had had something like that when I was graduating from high school.
Yeah, just think about it, folks. It's not just about the flying part of it. It is about keeping those, planes flying.
Yeah.
And awesome, awesome. Thank you, James. By the way, Chris is flying down from Texas for our fundraiser.
All right, so I'll have a chance to give her a nice warm hug.
That's
Yeah.
right.
This is the first time that she's going to be on an aeroplane in 20 years.
Miss Hilbert, it's going to be a cakewalk. Okay.
Oh, I love flying. I don't like TSA. We had a couple of runs with TSA.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
we can.
I offered to connect her with Nancy Pelosi because Nancy has a broom hanging in the closet now. She's not using it anymore.
Oh.
Beautiful.
All right, I'm gonna leave that right where it is.
Not touching that one, huh, James?
No, not at all.
Folks, our person of the week this week is James McCoy. He is a Marine. There's no such thing as a former Marine. So
That's right.
That's
never
right.
ever go up to a Marine and say he's a former Marine. Nope. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Okay. Thank you for your service also to our country. And if you want to be featured as a guest on our show, folks, please reach out to Dr. Sheila White. You can send an email to our general email box, TLS Producer, for the Lightning Strike Producer, TLS Producer @gmail.com. And we would love to feature people like this who are making a difference in our community. It's not all about politics. And it is not just politics. I like to say public service. Yeah. Politics is a dirty word. Okay, so the people who are really committed to serving us as servant leaders are public leaders. Okay, these are not politicians. The politicians, we need to get rid of them. It's high time we did that. Our guest today on our segment, which is District Watch, was Morgan Coghill. And Morgan ran for office in the 10th district in Illinois. Did not win, but it was a win for a lot of people to have someone challenge a sitting congressman who is an out-and-out Zionist sold to the Zionist lobby. And Brad Schneider is not doing any good for the country. Let's keep that in mind. And this is something that we like to call out people over, James. Okay, because we are not funded, we are not. There's no corporate advertising that we take, no funding from any PACs and stuff. We like to say things as they are, as long as they are backed by facts. Mm-hmm. And when we say something, we make sure that we have the facts to back those things up. That's what WCPT is all about. It is the nation's largest progressive talk radio station. Okay, we got about 3 minutes to finish off the show. Any final thoughts from any of our participants today?
I just want to make sure that we give the information out for Mr. McCoy's flight line systems, address, phone number, where they can get in contact with him.
Wonderful. Thank you for that opportunity. And thank you for this wonderful radio station who is working to hold people in positions of responsibility and authority accountable. And that is all we can ask as part of our civic duty. Okay. We know sometimes we're going to get it wrong and make mistakes. So accountability is a very important piece. So thank you guys for doing that. This is a way you get a hold of my company. My company is called Flight Line System, no S at the end. You can reach me via work cell phone number 312-519-1713. You can also reach me and take a look at my website, which is www.flightlinesystem, again, no S.com. And I'll just throw my email in there, jmccoy, MCCOY, @flightlinesystem.com.
Well, that's easy enough to remember, okay? And we're going to be posting this entire conversation on our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and search for @TLS Radio, That is our channel on YouTube, and our Facebook channel is also the same at TLS Radio. This entire conversation will also be on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts and Spotify, a lot of other places that people can go back and listen. A lot of people do listen after the show, especially on our Facebook page too. So it's 9:59, folks. Thank you all for joining us. Happy Father's Day. And hopefully you are going to be using American-made products on July 4th to celebrate our 250th year anniversary, folks. Make sure, and if at all possible, if it is a union-made product, do support our unions. That's what this country is built on, folks. If it was not for our unions, we would not have some of the liberties that we take for granted in our everyday life. Thank you so much for listening. This is 10 o'clock. This is Mohammed Faheem signing off.
The preceding program, The Lightning Strike, was sponsored by Mohammed Faheem.
All right,
and to
take
the
care.
extent applicable, their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of Heartland Signal, LLC, or its management.
You know that you can listen to Chicago's Progressive Talk on WCPT.